A simple human farmer saved a wounded dragon soldier, and days later, a fleet of alien warships landed on his farm, changing his life forever. The sun was setting over the golden fields of Yaren's farm, painting the horizon in deep shades of amber and crimson. Yaren wiped the sweat from his brow and leaned on the wooden handle of his plow, surveying the land that had been in his family for generations. It was ordinary, quiet work, the kind that grounded him in the rhythm of life, but that evening, something extraordinary appeared. A low groan carried on the wind, followed by the unmistakable sound of wings brushing against the earth. Yaren's eyes widened as he saw it. A dragon, but unlike any he had seen in old tales or holovids. Its scales shimmered like molten metal, and its eyes burned with a fierce intelligence. But it limped, dragging one wing behind it. This was no beast. It was a warrior, a dragon soldier. Far from its homeland, instinctively, Yaren dropped his plow and rushed forward. He had no weapons, no training, just the deep conviction that no living creature deserved to suffer alone. The dragon growled softly, its jaw quivering as if fighting some inner restraint. Yaren knelt and extended a hand, whispering, "I'm not your enemy. You're safe here." Hours passed in silence as Yaren patched the dragon's wounds with makeshift salves. Using bandages and herbs he had grown himself, he fed it, coaxing it with scraps of meat, and even managed to speak to it in the broken dragon tongue he had once heard from travelers. At first, the dragon was suspicious, its tail lashing in warning. But by nightfall, it had curled beside Yaren's small barn, smoke curling gently from its nostrils as it slept. Days went by. Yaren's life resumed its peaceful cadence, though now the shadow of the dragon loomed over the fields, guarding them silently. Then came the night when the sky tore apart. A fleet of ships descended from the stars, their engines thrumming like distant thunder, lights cutting through the darkness. Yaren's heart pounded. He had seen off-world traders before, but never a fleet of this size, and their banners bore the insignia of the dragon warriors, the ones whose kind his visitor had clearly belonged to. The dragon stirred beside him, sensing the ships before they even landed. Its gaze met Yaren's, and in that instant, no words were necessary. He had done the right thing. And the universe had taken notice. The ships landed with barely a tremor to the earth, and from them stepped dragon soldiers, armored and imposing. Yet their eyes softened when they saw the injured warrior beside a human. One of them, taller and more regal than the rest, approached Yaren. Its voice, translated through a device, resonated with deep authority. "You saved one of ours." "You have no idea what that means," Yaren swallowed, unsure of how to respond. "I just did what anyone would do," he said. The dragon's leader studied him for a long moment, then inclined its head. "Few humans have the courage or the heart to aid us. You are not ordinary." From that day on, Yaren's farm changed forever. The dragon soldiers helped him harvest crops at speeds impossible for humans alone. Their presence drew attention from nearby settlements, curious and awed at the alliance between human and dragon. Traders and scholars arrived, eager to witness this bond firsthand. And Yaren found himself at the center of a story that spanned galaxies. But more than fame or curiosity, what mattered most was trust. The dragons never forgot the human who had offered aid without expectation, would look past fear and legend to see the life in need. And Yaren, in turn, had learned that even the smallest act of kindness could ripple across worlds, shaking empires and bridging the gap between species. Years later, Yaren would tell children and travelers alike. It began with a wounded dragon on a quiet farm, and now the stars themselves remember that a human dared to care. And somewhere among the fleet that once landed on his fields, the dragon soldier he had saved now, whole and commanding its own squadron, looked down at Yaren and smiled, a silent promise that the universe was a little brighter because of him.